G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and once again I'm jumping onto the XA Sedan to see if we can get these rust repairs done on the back end inside the trunk area and around the boot seal area. So hope you enjoy it, and we might even have a little bit of a discussion about this rotisserie behind me. I've had a few questions asked about it, so I might just go over that as well. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so what I'm going to try to tackle this time is the boot area. So on the passenger side, I've already done the exterior rust repair work, and what I've got to do now, I've already put in the drop off, as you can see, and I've just got to replace that piece of boot floor with a new panel, and also might see if we can replace this little corner. Because I cut that part out of the coupe, I've got a spare piece, so I might just replace it because that looks a bit dodgy. And on the driver's side, hopefully, I think I've just got to replace this little bracket and the boot floor and the drop off, and then of course I've got to finish the bottom part of the wheel tub, which I'm terrible at doing those, so yeah, that'll be fun. Certain jobs you don't like to do. So I think the first thing I might do is lower this thing down and remove the back half of the rotisserie from the car, and that way I'm sort of able to sort of step over and sort of work on it at a decent height. I think for now I don't really need to get under the car. Hopefully I'm right. I can't see any reason why I should need to. If I'm just doing that trunk floor, yeah, I should be all right. I think I'll let it down, put some jack stands under the back end, and then remove this this back half of the rotisserie. So let's just stop for a moment and have a look at this rotisserie, only because I've had a couple of questions about it. So this is a rotisserie I built back in, I think it was like 2005 or something, around that era anyway. And I got the idea, or the inspiration if you like, watching a show called Rides, and in particular these two builds that were done by a shop called Rad Rides by Troy. So I saw the rotisserie they were using and I thought that looks pretty solid, and in particular the idea of having a winch rather than a jack. And these winches I ended up getting from a place called A. Noble & Son, which supply a lot of our rigging gear over the years for the cranes. And what it is, it's basically similar to a trailer winch, but it has its own self-braking system. So you wind it up, and wherever you stop, that's where it brakes. And you want to go the other way, you just simply wind the handle the other way, and that's it. It just stops where you leave it. And I've never had one fail on me. I had one jam, as in like the mechanism jammed where I couldn't winch it up or down, and then I just replaced that one. But yeah, so they've been excellent. The rest of it, pretty much just built out of scrap metal. You've got your solid caster wheels with brakes. And this part here, I was looking in the scrap metal in the yard where I was earlier, prior to this one, and yeah, there was some sort of old like a gantry type system, and it had these little wheels, and I thought they'll come in handy, and they did. I managed to use them for this. So the idea being that when you've got the weight of the car on it, that this top is going to be pushing against the upright. So I have the wheels higher up there and in the alternative position. So so the top's pressing that way, and then the bottom is pressing that way. So yeah, hence it just slides up and down that 125 by 125 RHS, and then welded onto the front of it is the end of a Falcon 6-cylinder diff, basically. So that's your end of your diff housing, and then cut off axle and whatnot there. So that just gives me, you know, a bearing surface. And I just, again, this is just scrap metal laying around, and I just thought, well, if I did it that way, then all I've got to do is just blow a couple of holes in that and then bolt it on using some old wheel nuts. And then of course this part here bolts to where the bumper bolts onto the car, and then it's the way it's made in such a way that it doesn't have to be attached to the front one, because it's got you know, these the way the frame sticks forward of where the weight is counteracts any lean forward. So I don't know what you call that, but I don't know. I was going to say cantilevered, but I don't know. I don't think that's the right term. But yeah, so those little legs, they counteract any sort of weight on the top. So you can go as high as you want, low as you want. It'll be stable. The only thing I find is that when I push it around, having that winch up top, you've got to make sure that this part is right down, because if it doesn't have the car on it, and you're just sort of pushing it around like this, just by hand, you just got to watch that it doesn't kind of like want to tip back like that. So I'm not saying it's top heavy, but it's, you know, yeah, something like that. So I think the front one's actually a little different, because I don't know how I managed to do it, but I built them differently. So on the front one, for some reason, the braces ended up longer. I think what it was is that originally I built this one first, and then I ran out of material and I had to make the braces on that one shorter. So something like that. But if I was doing it again, I'd actually make the braces on that as short as the back ones, because obviously this one can't come down as far. So, but yeah, it works good, and the good thing about it is that it's quick to attach. So as I say, just bolting it to the bumper mounts. The front is the same; it just bolts to the bumper mounts, and just have a plate that just sort of comes through and bolts straight to where the bumpers are. And then I could have spent a lot more time making it a lot better, a lot fancier. I could have, I could sort of set up like a circular disc with multiple holes in it, so you can have like multiple positions. This one only has like 3 or 4 positions, but I just sort of improvise. What I could probably do is I could probably tie it in by having, RHS running between the two of them. But the reason I didn't do that is because I tend to have 2 left feet, and I didn't want to sort of have the car up on its side and then trying to step, around this this piece of box section that's running straight along the floor. So I figured it'd be a lot easier working on the car just with a big open space in between the two. So that's how she turned out. So not that hard to build one. It's not rocket science. You just need a bit of scrap metal and some time. And obviously you're going to have to buy a few things, like, get your caster wheels and get your winch. And, I don't know about the caster wheels, but I know that the winch wasn't too expensive. It was probably maybe $200 or something. So yeah, works a treat. Anyway, back to the car. I shall now endeavour to start something. Who knows what, but the way it works with me is I kind of like just start cutting things and seeing what happens, Bit of cutting, bit of hammering, bit of welding, and we'll see what's up. So this is the piece that I cut off the coupe, and it's, pretty good nick, so obviously a lot better than that one. So I'm probably just going to cut it about there, and then weld him in. And then I'll probably fit the fuel tank and just make sure she all fits before I go ahead and weld it to that to the back panel. Who was it that said they didn't need to go under the car? So I'm just going to put some lines along the outsides of the chassis rails so I know where I can drill holes for my plug welds. So that's that side done. Didn't fit too badly. This panel was a rare spares one, and yeah, not too badly. So that's all ready to go. And what I was going to say is that normally when I finish something like that, I'll go over it with Easy Foss. So just I just pour a bit on a rag, and then wipe that surface over so it's damp with Easy Foss, and that'll stop it flash rusting. It'll actually keep it for quite a long time. It's I guess it's in a similar way, it protects it like deoxidizing does, although I won't say it's the same process because I just don't know, but all I know is that it protects the steel, so that's what I do each time. So I'm going to do that, and then the thing is, we've done the left hand side, we have to do the right. So yeah, can't get too excited because we've still got another side to do. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wipe that down, and then we'll jump over to this side. Okay, so everything's come to a grinding halt because of course I ran out of gas on a Saturday and couldn't get it refilled. So yes, the world's conspiring against me. But anyway, we've got that done. So I think what I might do, because I work in such a flurry of organisation and don't know where anything is at any given time, I think I'll stop and have a bit of a clean up, and then we'll pick it up once I've got some gas Monday morning.